Good morning, everyone, and welcome to What Is It Wednesday, live from the Barnes Museum in Southington, Connecticut. So, we put out our Trivia Tuesday yesterday with this symbol right here, and we stumped a few of you, and a few of you got it, absolutely. So, this is not a potato masher, although I think that was my favorite guess on it. It totally looks like a potato masher that I have in my house. This is a logo, and this logo is part of this television set at the Barnes Museum. This is a 1949, well, it was purchased in 1949. This is actually a 1950 model, a Motorola television. So that is the logo right on the front. For those of you who got it, congratulations. It does look just like the front of a speaker, that fabric right there. And you come on up, it does say Motorola right underneath the screen. And we have the beautiful knobs for it. Certainly not HD, but a beautiful, beautiful piece. Now, this television was purchased by Bradley and Leela in December of 1949, and we know that because just like all the other objects in the Barnes Museum, we have the original owner's manual. We also have the presenting 1950 Motorola television pamphlet to go with it, and a diary entry from Leela that says on December 14th, 1949, the television set was installed. A little bit different installation than we see today. Certainly this was just brought in and plugged in and hooked up, but that is our television set. Now, our clue from yesterday said that this was from the Galvin, that the company that originally made this, Motorola, used to be called the Galvin Manufacturing Corporation. That's how Motorola started. Two brothers, the Galvin brothers, in 1929 opened up the Galvin Manufacturing Corporation in Chicago, Illinois. By 1930, Galvin had entrusted his team to begin creating car radios. That was all the fashion, so his team was successful, and in 1930 they did start manufacturing car radios, and they wanted to brand the name, so they created the word Motorola. They combined the word motor and Victrola and created Motorola. So that was in 1930. By 1947, the Motorola and the Galvin Manufacturing Corporation had began making television sets. So this TV, again, was purchased in 1949. This is the 1950 model. This is just 3 short years after the Motorola company began creating television sets. So very early television set from this company. And this set has a fun story to it. The story goes here at the Barnes Museum that Bradley Barnes had a fun competition with one of his friends here in town, and they would see who could get the best toys first. They would see who could get the latest models of cars first, the latest radios, and television sets were on that list of the competition. Unfortunately, Bradley Barnes lost the television race. Even though this is the first television that came into the Barnes Museum in 1949, this was the second television set to come into Southington in general. So this is the second television set in Southington, Connecticut, and we have it right here in the living room of the Barnes Museum. This is just, again, one of the many objects that you'll be able to see if you book a tour with us. We do have our tours open for groups of 4 or less, Monday through Fridays, 1 to 5 p.m. You can book your tour by online by going to thebarnesmuseum.org and booking that online, or you can call up the museum at 860-628-5426 and we'll book a tour for you. So let's take a peek at the rest of the objects in this living room. This is one of my favorite rooms of the house, and it's because of the floors. All the architecture in the house is, of course, original, and these floors are all quartered oak, and they make a beautiful pattern because of the angled wall into the dining room. We have some of our book collection. We have over 1,000 books in the museum. Have a beautiful typewriter over here. This is a Remington. Let's take a peek at it. This Remington is really special. Take a look at that keyboard, folks. For all you kids out there who have been homeschooling, this keyboard should look a little bit different than what you're used to today, even though the letters are set up in basically the same fashion that they are now. There's an uppercase layer and a lowercase layer. This was before the shift key was invented. This is a photo of Bradley Barnes. This is the last photo that we have of Bradley. He was aged 88 years young in that photo, and the chair he is sitting in is this chair right here. One of many radios we have in the house. This is not a Motorola. This is an all-wave radio, and this has a turntable in it. We come around here, more beautiful chairs, some inkwells. We have our window seat, which we absolutely adore. This is how you get into our goblet room. We focused on our goblet room in a previous episode of What Is It Wednesday, so this is the look into our goblet room right here. And a beautiful fireplace. This is an 1865 renovation, and that is a Franklin fireplace insert there. But let's go back to our fun little Motorola television. Again, if you guessed it, you were looking right at that bottom piece, right there, that little logo, and a Motorola TV from 1950. The second television ever to come into the town of Southington, and the first television to come into the Barnes Museum on December 14th of 1949. So we hope you've enjoyed a little bit of history here today, and we look forward to bringing you Trivia Tuesday to see if you can guess what we'll be talking about on next week's episode of What Is It Wednesday. Make sure to book those tours. You can come visit us live, and you can email or call us with any questions, folks. Have a wonderful Wednesday.